You hear me? Anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. We're just listening.
Oh, I didn't know. Anyway, coming down the hall, so I wake up. Well, he's coming down the hall and comes in the room, and we take that stuff on. They put a CPAP mask on, and it was a rough night after that. But anyway, the next morning, this guy was throwing stuff out there. I mean, he was. And it didn't dawn on me that I should have requested to have that reading on that EKG. But I was wondering, well, how long will it be before I get the results? Well, about a week. It took him 5 weeks, damn near 6 weeks, to tell me that my test was normal. But I told my doctor I had at that time, that test, they might want to tell you it's normal, but it really wasn't. There was we had a little bit of the paranormal happen, so that's the way that's worked. And a couple other 3 or 4 times, I mean, it's highly personal. I mean, it's heartbreaking. I mean, it has to do with things that, I'll tell you what, if aliens can know this and do this, we're in deep dog. I mean, they're way out of our league. I mean, a couple of them were, I got told the people's passing standing right there. I could hear it, nobody else could. I mean, it's I'm getting up there, and this happened a long time ago, and it's still hard to handle. So you got to kind of forgive me on that. But now, when I was doing it with the ship, I kind of thought, but I don't know. But I really wasn't ever scared or worried.
But you know, it concerns me with you, honestly, is that, how can I say this? Didn't you, after you had your implant removed, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I've interviewed so many people the last couple of years, didn't you and your wife back into town run across another UFO? This is after you had your implant removed.
Oh, well, okay.
You dropped out.
Huh?
I said you dropped out.
I hear you. Yeah, you dropped off, and I can hear you now.
Okay. Did you hear where I asked after you had your implant? Okay, after you had your implant removed, after a period of time, didn't you and your wife were going back into town, and didn't you see another UFO again off of a hill or something?
I've seen 2 more up close. I seen one in the same spot, and then we were coming home one night, my wife and my 3 daughters, and we ran into a strobe light object that we stopped our car and got out and looked at for a while until it kind of just meandered off. Now, I knew what I was looking at, but my wife but my daughters probably really didn't comprehend the whole thing, but, yep.
I just wonder if you were abducted again and had another implant put in, because the reason why I say this, a lot of the people I've had on my show that either had the implant removed, one guy actually had his implant, he removed it himself. I don't know how somebody could have the courage to do that, but he removed that. I think maybe you were on that night too, James, that he removed the implant, and he ended up with another implant afterwards. And I'm just wondering, too, if they picked you as a subject to implant, I got a funny feeling that if you had another test, you might have another implant in you.
Well, I could have. I've been abducted again. I mean, it was a strange night. It kind of had a little bit of an ending, just like Travis Walton had with his experience, which kind of, because like I said, it was almost like an oddball dream for a little bit, but I get a mask put on my face and put my finger up by my mouth, I black out, and then I wake up in my bed, kind of like he was on the table, he said, and then he said he stuck his finger up there, and next thing he was by the road, and I said, okay. But now, are they putting an implant in me? I don't know, or whatever. It's 617. I don't know how to look for it. Maybe they put in a good enough implant now that I can't find it, So whatever they want to do, I mean, that's that.
Now,
But in fact, they abducted me and they gave me West Nile. And I ran talking to another patient at Dr. Lear who had surgeries almost identical to mine that's Ron Noel. And when I told him a little while back, we talk once in a while, and they lit him up. He thought they'd give him West Nile too. So
interesting.
And that's real interesting. And it's contacted with the last Dr. Lear and comes into a orb-type craft. Mine was a flashing orb, but this is seems to run into a yellow or orange-type solid orb-type craft. It was rather large. But, when I broke my neck, I unplugged my third cervical vertebrae and find out, well, where's his implant? Well, it's around his third cervical vertebrae. So, just little curiosities that keep showing up a lot of it. Wonder why.
Interesting. Have you tried contacting like other people that Dr. Roger Lear removed implants from, and it took?
Well, I know 3 or 4 of them. There's several of them. They just they've had some pretty rough, and I don't know how to contact them. I can't. Everybody.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
James.
Several ladies. One of them was a gal got abducted, and but when they brought her back, they couldn't get her back in her car. The doors were locked, so she was standing outside her car, and it was about 20 degrees out. So, but I know 3 of Dr. Lear's patients right now. I talk with 3 of the guys. Yeah. Steve Coburn's one of them, Ron Noel, and Eric Mitchell is this young man's name, and he talks a little bit. He's talking a little bit. MUFON's been helping him out. I didn't know about it, didn't know how involved he was, but, talking with him a little bit. It's quite interesting.
Has any of the people that have had the implants removed, have any of them been emotionally scarred that you've talked to?
No.
I think we're losing you. Hey, James, I think we lost him.
Yeah, I know. Every time he gets to something, it's like right at the perfect timing.
Yeah, we did lose him. Isn't it kind of interesting, James? Anytime we do a show where we're talking about implants, the show. I mean, the phone is like cuts out, and this is not the first time this has happened, and it's happened almost any time I've talked to Timothy, regardless what type of phone system I use to talk to him. And again, with some of the other people, when we talk about, their implants and stuff, all of a sudden, as soon as we start talking about them, guess what?
I know. It goes out. I'm wondering, these implants, I'm sure he's got another one. Maybe they put a backup one just in case, too. And here's the thing. If they're that far advanced, who's to say that they can't interfere with things, because they're probably listening in, and maybe they don't want us to hear. It just seems funny that every time he gets to that one point, it breaks up. Yeah.
I'm going to try calling him again, and let's see what happened. What number do I want to try? Let's see. Give me a second here. Okay, we're going to try this number back again. Okay, there he is. Yeah, Timothy, you just totally disappeared there like you were non-existent.
Hey, my phone threw up some 15-digit number, and I got some kind of weird call from Verizon or whatever. I mean, right.
Interesting. So, it happens every time I was just telling James, every time I talked about somebody who's, been implanted, the phone call, I can talk every night. We can talk about whatever, never have a problem. As soon as I talk about implants, it seems like the conversation's having constant, problems dropping out or with static. It's strange.
Well, I went to do an interview out in California shortly after my surgery for Dr. Lear. I can't remember the name of the program. But we couldn't even, the cameras, everything kept going goofball all the time. We finally just had to quit.
That is so interesting. So so you never got checked again to see if you had another implant. How did your wife was with you those times? What was was she scared when she saw the UFOs? I mean, were you scared?
Well, I was awestruck. I think we were a little she was a little apprehensive, but no, I really wasn't so told as scared, I mean, like I said, when you had things happen to you that way out of the normal, I mean, to me it was just okay. Now that I know now I know there's another intelligent life in the universe, that may be non-mortal.
Yeah.
So.
Now, it
was an interesting, but no, I wasn't ever really scared.
Well, you're braver than me, because I'll be honest with you. Back what I saw in the 70s with my then wife, and I use the word then, when the car up in the desert, it lit up like daylight, brighter than daylight. I thought it was a police helicopter because I was going fast with my GTO, and I pull off the road, and my wife was freaking out. I get out of the car, and I don't hear the sound of a helicopter. I don't hear any sounds at all. The light was so bright it hurt my eyes. I tried to look at where it was coming from, and poof, it was gone. And sometimes I really wish, that if I was abducted or she was abducted, they could have just kept her. But, I mean, it scared me. It wasn't like it scared me right then and there. It was like a few minutes later, my brain digested. Well, what was that?
Well, yeah. Well, I had a little bit of a premonition on all the encounters. But like I said, when it comes to the missing time, then I'm absolutely sitting here with drawing a blank, because there ain't no other way to put it. It's missing time. So
now,
I really wasn't ever worried. No.
But you were abducted, and you had an implant put in with you without your wishes, without you asking for it. Have you ever, since you had and discovered you had your implant, have you ever gone to bed at night and just kind of like laid there and not being able to sleep and wonder, like, hey, am I going to be abducted out of my bed?
Well, I think it's happened a couple of times, but I don't really worry about it. I mean, that's just the way it is. They're not letting me remember. But I'm sure, if I was like some of the other abductees and had bad memories and whatever, it'd be a different story. But they don't let me remember nothing. So, and they're doing a good job of it. So I don't know what's good or bad, but that's just the way it is. And, if I really worried about it like that, then it'd be a little tough. I lay in bed more so with just a little disgust on, the way government society, especially government, is treated, approach this dilemma that I, come out and ask them about. They had a memo in 2009 in the White House on Dr. Lear's work and research, and nowadays we have vaping, so we have 17 people have died of vaping, and it's quite a crisis. But Dr. Lear did 17 surgeries, but there wasn't nothing about people being abducted and implanted by aliens to hit the panic mode with, so to speak. It's just little stuff like that.
Well, I think the government, it still isn't ready to come out and tell us what is going on. But could you imagine if the government would have came out when Dr. Roger Lear was, going on radio, like on Art Bell's show and on TV, all those, cable channels and all those shows, and talking about implant removal and implants, people being abducted, the government would deny it. Because they still deny it. But I've interviewed so many people that, claim that they have been abducted. Some people, it took years before they started remembering. Some people, they evidently, whatever they do to make you forget, they didn't forget. And, and if you had a bad experience and you remember being abducted and them doing experiments with you,
That's correct.
Could you imagine if you went through you could remember the pain you went through while they had you on whatever they have you on and experimenting on you and then putting in